Guys, it is absolutely freezing in Tallahassee, which means we're being whiny, and it's just under 50 degrees. But you know what was hot? Florida State's defense tonight against the Florida Gators. 31-13, the final score. Blake DeVine, Michael Hudak, Ariya Massoudi joining you here from Doak Campbell Stadium after a big win, the fourth win in a row over the Gators for the Seminoles. Guys, let's start off and talk about this defense. They came in, they've been playing pretty well throughout the last few games, but tonight, Michael, they really came through.
For once in this season, I think this defense was a cohesive unit the entire game. Secondary played a phenomenal game, and they've been the most depleted position group on the entire team. And as far as the front seven goes, we know the linebackers are athletic, but for the defensive line to get the pressure that they applied tonight, I think something like 4 or 5 sacks. DeMarcus Walker had 2 of his own. Huge forced fumble by Josh Sweat early in the game, really established momentum for the Seminoles. And then for DeMarcus Walker to get the fumble towards the end of the game to really seal the deal for Florida State. Big performance by the front seven.
Absolutely, Michael. He talked about the sacks. DeMarcus Walker now 15 on the season. Brian Burns chipped in another sack and a half. I think he's now close to 10 on the year for the freshman. Talk about this defensive line. Florida only had 58 rushing yards total. This D-line really came and dominated.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, and Florida always is a team that Florida State just brings it to the next level. This team of Florida State, the Seminoles, they came into the game with the top pass rush in the country, but they turned it into another performance tonight. 9 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, and this team has really turned it up on all assets of defense of late. You look at the team, 11 points per game in their last 3 games, holding teams to just 64 rush yards per game. You've seen a significant improvement in I think just mentality overall of this team. A lot of turmoil with Charles Kelly, and now you see they're playing at a different level and reaching their peak right when you want them to.
You're absolutely right about that. Guys, one player who has been consistent for Florida State, really, all season, Dalvin Cook. He finished tonight with a $153, a touchdown as well. He passed Greg Allen tonight for the school's rushing record. If this is the last game for Dalvin Cook, how much of a pleasure has it been to see this guy play at Florida State?
He belongs on the Mount Rushmore of Florida State sports. And this guy, he started the season off very slow, only 2 touchdowns through 3 games, and each one of those games only totaled less than 100 yards rushing. But after that, he had 5 consecutive games of plus 100-yard rushing. This guy is the definition. He embodies prime-time performance. He shows up in big games. One of the most undervalued and overshadowed things he did this year was 4 touchdowns against Clemson on October 29th. Tonight, he has a huge game. And then 2 games against USF in his career, 266 and 267 yards respectively. This guy is one of the best running backs in the country. I definitely think he deserves some Heisman consideration. And for Florida State to have seen him grow up throughout the years and what he's done in just 3 years of play for this team, it's truly incredible.
He kind of laughed at it when asked, well, do you think he should be in the Heisman? Well, we'll tell you right now, you deserve to be in the Heisman, Dalvin Cook. Let's talk real quick about what this game means for Florida State going forward. Recruiting advantage continues to be Florida State, the kings of this state. 8-0 all-time are these seniors against Florida, and Miami. You can't really underestimate what this means also, not only for the rivalry, but also in what the bowl scenarios could hold.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you look at this game and it has massive recruiting implications every single season. Last year, if you look at it, Florida State beat Florida, obviously lost to Houston, but that led to the #1 recruiting class in the nation. Headed into the offseason, this type of a victory is the type of a victory that you can take and move forward into the program and use it as a turning point. Use it as something to fuel recruiting, fuel momentum, and overall create hope towards next year. As far as beating Miami, seems like a regular thing, but Florida and Florida State, top-notch recruiting every year.
You're absolutely right, guys. Well, that pretty much recaps this season inside of Doak Campbell Stadium. What a year it has been. Wherever Florida State goes, we'll try and be there. But until then, we'll talk to you later. That's Blake DeVine. That's Michael Hudak. I'm Ariya Massoudi. 4 straight over the Gators.